Good morning and welcome to today's almost daily devotional for this day, which is so lovely and nice. It's Thursday, and we are going to continue in chapter 10 of Acts. This is the story of Peter and Cornelius. There was a man in Caesarea named Cornelius, a centurion in the Italian company. He and his whole household were pious, Gentile, God worshippers. He gave generously to those in need among the Jewish people and prayed to God constantly. One day, at nearly 3 o'clock in the afternoon, he clearly saw an angel from God in a vision. The angel came to him and said, "Cornelius." Startled, he stared at the angel and replied, "What is it, Lord?" The angel said, "Your prayers and your compassionate acts are like a memorial offering to God. Send messengers to Joppa at once and summon a certain Simon, the one known as Peter. He is a guest of Simon the tanner, whose house is near the seacoast." When the angel who was speaking to him had gone, Cornelius summoned 2 of his household servants, along with a pious soldier from his personal staff. He explained everything to them, then sent them to Joppa. Now Cornelius is a centurion of Italian descent, so he is not ethnically Jewish. He is Italian. He's Roman. But he's told in this story that he is a pious Gentile God worshiper, which means that he converted. He was practicing Judaism, essentially. So there was sort of 2 little branches, I guess. It wasn't, you weren't like a full member of the temple, but you could participate in the worship services and the offerings and that kind of thing. Um, and he lived a life that was generous, it says. He was generous to those in need, and he had compassionate acts. So in every way, he was given to the life that reflected what it means to be a God worshiper. But he didn't follow the laws, the purity laws, and he wasn't ethnically Jewish. He wasn't part of the family. And so he was sort of in this little gray area of what it meant to be a follower of God. So the question is, what qualifies him to be a messenger of God? And it says right here that it's his prayer. It's his prayer and his compassionate act, that those are the offerings. Those are the memorial offerings that God sends to people. That when we pray, when we live a life of compassion, when we show signs of a spiritual life, spiritual growth, we may not always fit into the rules. We may not always fit into the purity culture. We may not always fit into what people think of when they think of that's a Christian, that's a God worshiper. Sometimes we're outside of the box. Sometimes we're doing things that are outside of what we would normally think. But as long as we're living a life that's of genuine prayer and of compassion and of memorial offerings to God, then that is all we need to qualify us. That's all we need. That's all we should expect from people to qualify them, because that's the kind of life that God seeks and that God sends angels to. So are you living a life where God would recognize you? Say, "There's my worshiper. There's my messenger."